Hello and welcome to the Impact Marriage Podcast. Today's episode is going to be a fun one. So what is it titled, babe?
The title of today's episode is 33 Years Later, What We Know Now That We Wish We Knew Then.
All right. So let me get my...
We're excited about today's episode.
We're going to have some fun. I'll get my glasses on so I can ask you the first question. Is that okay?
Yeah, we're going to take turns asking each other questions. And
I'm glad you said that.
By the way, I have no idea we have not asked each other these questions. Mm-hmm. We know what the questions are. And I wrote down a couple bullet points that I wanted to cover. She did the same, but I have not seen her answers, nor have you seen mine unless you cheated.
No, I did not cheat.
Okay.
I did not
All
cheat.
right. So Here we go.
So first question for Allan. So Allan, if you could sit with your 25-year-old Allan on our wedding day, what's the first thing that you would tell him?
I say, don't be an immature punk. Grow up.
True that. No.
Oh man. The first thing definitely I would tell myself is trust God's plan for your life and your marriage. I definitely didn't do that and didn't have that mindset. And yeah, for sure that would be the first thing I would say is trust the Lord. His plan is perfect. You know, Jeremiah 29:11 talks about how says, I know the plans I have for you, says the Lord, plans to prosper you, plans for good and not for evil, plans to prosper you, plans to give you a hope in the future. Gosh, I can't
not
even,
to harm
I
you.
can't even, not to harm you. Plans to give you a hope and a future. I get 3 different translations in my head, so I can't even
That's
quote
the
one
thing
of them.
about jumping around to different translations. It mixes you up.
Yes.
It's worse.
Yes.
Yeah, just stick with one translation, people.
But the bottom line of that verse is God has a wonderful plan for our lives, each of our lives. And I wish I would have believed that and truly known that. I mean, intellectually, I could have probably told you that, but I didn't believe it. Didn't believe it. Couple other things that I jotted down here is I would tell myself, marriage isn't 50-50. It's not a 50-50 thing. I mean, I came into it thinking, and this was my immaturity and my lack of knowledge and my lack of understanding scripture as well. But into it, we've talked about this before, is like 50-50. Like, okay, there's things she needs from me as the husband. There's things I need from her, as a wife. And or did I say that backwards? There's things you need from me as a wife, and there's things I need from you as a husband.
There we go.
And obviously that is all true, but it was a 50-50 mindset where it was like more like a contract than a covenant, where it's just like, hey, you do these things and I do these things, and together we make each other happy, right? And that's not biblical marriage at all. It's not the example of the covenant we see between Jesus and his church, us, his bride, us, the church. And so I would tell myself that, hey, you give 100%, expecting nothing in return. You lay your whole life out there for your wife, and you trust God with the results and the rest, and you trust God with her and her response and all of that. You don't have control over it anyway. So just lay down your life like Jesus did for you, Allan. That's what I would tell him. The other thing, man, I've got so many things. I wrote down 5 things. I mean, I could write down 500 things.
I wrote down 5 things too.
Did you really?
And one of them that you just said is kind of what I said too. So.
Okay. Should we go back and forth, or should I just say all 5?
No, say all 5. That's
you
okay.
Sure?
Yeah.
Okay, we'll say all 5. So number 3 is that time flies. Time goes really fast. I'd like to tell myself, all the old people told us that as kids, even when we got married 5 days after Nicole's 20th birthday and 4 months after mine. People would say, oh, it goes fast. The kids go, right, they grow up quickly, whatever. You hear all this and it's just like,
it's so true.
I mean, I just remember so many times I've heard that and just thought, whatever, like you're old. What do you know?
And here we are now saying it.
Yeah. And I'm like, dude, it's so true. Time goes so fast. And I would say invest in reading the word. I would say, Allan, invest in living what you're reading. I would say teach the word. Teach the word to your family. I did not do a good job of teaching the word. Again, I would say read it first and live it second, and then obviously teach it. I don't mean like be a hypocrite, but teach it from a point of living it, and teach it daily to your wife and children, and pray with them regularly. I mean, I just think of all the things, I wish I could have done better. And I'm like so overwhelmed with gratitude that God has blessed us almost 34 years later with such an incredible marriage when I did nothing to lay an amazing foundation, in those early years. So that's number 3. Number 4, I didn't have 5 answers to every question, but by the way, we have 10 questions in case you were wondering. Number 4 is invest into our marriage, like invest into books.
That's a good one.
Invest into retreats. Invest into because in those early years we never read a book on marriage. We never bought a course.
Well, another thing is we didn't have premarital counseling.
No.
Most people do, like in their churches, and no one encouraged us to do that. We didn't do it, and I wish we did.
Yeah, for sure. And speaking of courses, by the way, plug for our course that we don't have yet. If you would like to get on the wait list for when we do get it completed, hopefully soon we'll have that out. If you want to be notified when that comes out, you can go get on the list to be notified at allanandnicole.com. So it's ALLAN is how you spell Allan, ALLAN and AND Nicole, NICOLE.com, and you can just click on the marriage tab once you're there, and you'll see I think it's under marriage, I'm pretty sure. Anyway, a place to just get on the wait list. So if you want to do that, but that's what I would say is invest in courses and books and retreats and getting around, investing into time around other godly couples that are further along in the journey than we were, that could mentor us. That's what I would say.
Yes.
And the last thing, the 5th thing, it's definitely not the last thing. It's just the last thing I wrote down was start a business together. Okay.
I thought you were going to say like kiss her more.
Well, yeah, that too. And a whole lot more. But no, so we'll get I've got sex is further down in these questions. Okay. Yeah, it's going to come up. It's going to come up.
Come on.
So not that kissing is sex, but I guess it is kind of a sexual act. So, okay. So starting a business together. And the reason why I say that is because, as you know, we started our business together 11 years ago, and we're 54 this year. So that would make us 43. We were 43 and we were 23 years into marriage at the time. And, that business within a couple years set us free time-wise, financially, and all the things. And I tell people all the time now that join us in business, and I say, hey, especially when they're younger, a lot of people join in even in their 20s. Of course, we have people joining in their 70s. But when people are joining younger in their 20s or 30s, I'm like, man, especially in their 20s, I'm like, I wish I could have started a business like this with Nicole in our 20s. I mean, I wish we would start it when we were 20. I wish I would have
put that down as my answer because I forgot about that.
Yeah.
That's been like gold for our marriage.
Yeah, and why? Okay, I haven't even said why, but since you're saying you agree, why? No, tell me why. Tell me why you would say it's been like gold.
It's made our marriage like red hot. It's grown us in so many ways as far as communication skills. We would never have this podcast, y'all. We would never if it wasn't for our home-based business.
Yeah.
I was he was an introvert and I was super scared and shy, I guess you can say. I mean, an extrovert, but yet like to be able,
insecure.
Very insecure. I cannot speak doing a podcast or on stages or anything like that. And here we are, but it's more than that. It's the time that we get to spend together. And if you've listened to other episodes, my love language is quality time. So I get to spend so much time with this guy. I mean, we work out together.
Yeah.
We, come up with business plans constantly. We were doing it at the gym as we were working out together. And
dreaming together.
It's just so fun.
Yeah.
It's just,
Yeah. Dreaming together, setting goals together.
Everything.
I love all
satisfying.
That. And I agree with all that. The reason why the first thing I was thinking was, or I was heading with that, and for me is having the freedom that we now have, and that, the connection, the bonding, the ability to all the things you said.
You're not on an airplane flying to work, commuting, and where I hardly get to see you. I get to see you more.
Yep, exactly.
And the kids do, and you're not missing sports and all the things like the past.
Of course, I guess it would depend what kind of business you start together, because a business could pull a couple apart even more. So I guess that depends. But what I wanted to say about that is that, if it is a business that is a lifestyle business like ours, where we do get to work together, work from home, have more freedom and flexibility. I mean, how cool would that have been? Back to me talking to 20-something-year-olds or anyone younger than us. How cool would that have been to be able to invest in a year or 2 or 5, whatever it takes, to build that kind of an income and that kind of a lifestyle while the kids are still young, very young, and if possible, right? And then, because here's what I've learned, and I know you would agree with this, is like life just keeps speeding up. Like the children, when they're little, it seems like they take a lot. Well, when they get a little bit older, they take even more. And then when they're teens, they take even more. And then when they're married, or they're adults, you think, you may wrongly think, like I did, that now our work is done. No. They need us just in different ways. And then there's grandkids coming along. And then, so
building a legacy.
There's always different seasons. And to have been able to do that early on, and to be able to have more time and flexibility to invest into the children when they are teens and when they are adults and when the grandchildren come along, like that's one thing, I wish I would tell my younger self, hey, start building something now that's going to set you up with freedom and flexibility, whether it's a business or not. I guess that's what I would tell them.
Yeah, I love it. That's good.
How about you?
Is that your last one?
That was my last one. That was a long answer.
Yeah,
I know. That will be my longest answer of all these questions.
So I need
but
to put on my readers
I mean,
for this.
how do you keep it short to go tell your 25-year-old self, wedding advice or marriage advice?
Yeah, it's true. So mine is number 1, make sure God is in the center of your marriage. And I know everyone says that, it's like so cliche or whatever, but make sure, like you said, you're reading his word daily, memorizing scripture, and having, like you mentioned, other great godly influences, friendships, mentors, all that.
So important.
I'm putting that all under number 1. And I think the number 1 focus that I've come to realize, and we talked about this the other day, is having the fruits of the Spirit, really focusing on that. If you can get that dialed down and having the fruits of the Spirit each day and in your marriage, oh my goodness, you'll be golden, right? Don't you think?
100%.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, and then number 2, don't withhold it from him. Don't withhold it. So I think that goes without saying.
Don't withhold what?
Don't withhold, intimacy. So
can we not say sex?
I don't know. I guess we can.
Is it allowed?
Some podcasts don't.
I think it's allowed.
Some podcasts don't, because they might
this
have children
podcast does.
in the because they might have children in the car listening, and
so
that's why.
Yeah.
So I'm always careful. Number 3, find out what makes him feel loved. Find out about his love language and things that, just make him feel loved. So, and then number 4, I'm going to be flying through this. Be submissive for women. Sometimes for some women, it's hard to do. I come from a family with women who are quite the opposite. They're stronger, right? And more independent. And so I really had to change in that area of being submissive to my husband. So I would tell my younger self, Nicole, you need to be submissive.
And can I just add one thing?
Yeah.
And you said you came from women in your family that were stronger. I mean, just to clarify, I know you believe this, just so our listeners don't miss.
Thank you.
Think that you
so wonderful.
Think something that you don't. But to be submissive, is that a strength or a weakness, would you say?
Oh, a strength.
Okay, so someone who's not submissive, being stronger, is not that kind of strength you're talking about. I think, do you mean like strong,
independent?
Yeah, independent.
I'm not gonna. Yeah, I'm gonna do it my way, and I'm not gonna submit to a man, and because
they are. They're not believers.
They're not believers, and they're not following God's way.
Yeah,
so,
that makes sense.
And then number 5, build him up and make him feel like a king, because ultimately that's
you do a great job of that.
Thank
you do a great
you.
job of all these things.
Thank
but
you.
Yes, you do.
But I did it in the beginning, so I wish I would have told my younger self.
You've definitely improved.
Haven't I? Wow,
you have
I've come a long way.
grown.
It took a while, but anyways, I wish I would have told my younger self that. Just build him up, make him feel so good, and that's what men want, right?
That's what we want. We want to feel like studs. We want our wives to just, we want to feel like we're respected, like we're adored, like we're looked up to. Mm-hmm. Like you think we're Superman. You just called me Superman today.
That's right.
Earlier today.
I did. Because
you said you're my Superman.
I know you like it. He's like, yeah. Yeah. So, okay. So that was mine. And I went through that really quick. And I have so many more, but I want to stop it. I mean, I could have gone on and on. But okay. So I have another question for you.
All right.
What is one thing people think makes a great marriage that actually doesn't?
Do you know what? I didn't write any bullet points on this one.
I didn't either.
I skipped this one.
I didn't either. Because I figured, you know what? Whatever comes to me.
Yeah, I think that a lot of people think that if you have, I don't know what a lot of people think, but I think some people do think that if you have the same personality, if you're both a similar type person, then you're going to be more compatible and it's going to make a better marriage. And we're living proof that's definitely not true.
Bipolar opposite.
I mean, we know people that do have similar personalities and have amazing marriages. Yeah. And we know people that, we are people that have opposite personalities in so many different ways. And we have, the highest performing marriage of anybody I know. And I'm not saying that to boast. I'm saying I don't even deserve it. I don't even know how I've been blessed with this. It's kind of mind-blowing
because we are so opposite. You go in my closet, I mean, it's a mess and and his closet is nice and neat. And I mean, there's so many things where we're opposite.
She's creative and has a lot of great ideas.
Super creative,
I'm more
I come up with ideas.
Analytical and logical and methodical.
And he executes.
Yeah, she's the wow and I'm the how.
He gets it done.
Is what we say.
Yeah, so we make a great team.
So different in so many ways. But I don't know. Maybe that's the one thing I think that people might think that is required to have a great marriage is that you be that you're similar, that you have common interests, which is also a blessing if you have some common interests, but certainly does not. There's plenty of people that we know that got married and their whole relationship was built around a common interest. That's how they met. That common interest is their thing, their life, their whatever. And that was not enough glue to hold them together. Right. So it's not about that. It is nice when you have common interests, but we didn't get married, you being into, going to the gym and working out, nor was I. We didn't get married, you being a wake surfer, nor was I. We didn't get married, running road races or 5Ks or 10Ks or whatever, or marathon, half marathons together. Nor did I. And these are all just things that we've done together. And so we found things that we can do together and we have in common. So anyway, I guess that would be my answer. What about yours?
I think never fighting. I think that would be one. People
think a great marriage
would be a great marriage.
If there's no conflict.
If there's no conflict.
Yeah, I think some people might think that.
Yeah, but I think, and there's some people out there, like their personalities are just so laid back to people that are married and it's just not them. I feel like one thing that we have in common, we have stronger personalities. I never thought I did, but I'm beginning to see that, I guess I do have I can be a spitfire, so in a good way, a positive way. Right. And so I think as far as fighting, I think it's a good thing. I don't like the word fighting, but communication. I would say communication because really ultimately that's
having
what it is.
Having disagreements or things to work out or work through
I think
or
it's so
dealing
healthy.
with hurts from one person or the other.
Yeah, I think it's so healthy to work things out and communicate. And it also shows your kids looking in mom and dad could work this out, this thing that they're disagreeing on. And then if they can see it, if they can see you work it out, then I think that's just so healthy for them. For their, future spouse, whoever they marry, it's okay, you can still succeed, right?
Right.
In marriage. Kind of reminds me of your life's hard, succeed anyways. Marriage is hard, but succeed anyway.
That's right. That's right.
It is. Marriage is hard. It's not easy. And, but I believe if, you have God in the center, you have great communication, you don't go to bed angry and all these things, you can have a great marriage. But yeah, so I think, the never fighting. And people thinking, okay, they probably have a good marriage if they never fight.
Yeah, definitely.
Not true. You can have a red hot marriage and still, I don't like the word fighting, but communicate.
Yeah.
Disagreement. Conflict, disagreements.
Yep. All right. What's the next one?
Okay. So what is something you did early in our marriage that you would never do now? I think I know what you're going to say.
Wow. Again, these are like, we've been married almost 34 years, and I feel like I've made almost every mistake in the book when it comes to marriage. So these are hard to limit to just an answer or two or three. But the first one that came to mind is that I would definitely never do again is allow myself to get close to another woman.
Good.
And put up safeguards and protections, which I have to ensure that doesn't happen. So without going all into that, because we've talked about that, I think on a previous podcast, but that would be the first thing that came to mind is, I would definitely not allow myself to even be in a position where potentially I could get too close to another woman. Another thing that came to mind was not prioritizing my hobby. I mean, in those early years, as you remember.
Oh, yes.
I mean, my bass fishing tournaments were a huge priority in my life. And not that we can't have hobbies and not that others shouldn't have hobbies and do things apart, that's fine. But that shouldn't be that shouldn't be our drive. That should not be a higher priority than providing for our family as husbands, providing the time and attention that our wives need, the time, attention, training that our children need. And the hobby should be, obviously somewhere behind all that. And that was definitely a big mistake I feel like I made in those early years. And the other thing, the final thing I wrote down about this question is parenting, is a parenting thing. I definitely would never want to do what I did in those early years of marriage. And we've talked about this before a lot too, is I focused on the outward of our children's actions. I focused on of what I could see and what others could see and hear and observe, and really was hard on the activities or the words or the dress or the whatever that was wrong, and overlooked the most important part, which is the heart behind the actions, the outward, the appearance, whatever the action was. I didn't focus on, I just went right to the actions and addressing the actions, and wish I would have gone to the heart of the matter. And what I mean by that, for anyone that's even halfway unclear on what I'm saying, is asking the child, why? What was in your heart? Bringing them back to scripture. What does scripture say? What was the reasoning? What was your thoughts behind this? What would cause you to do this, say this, go here,
so
don't do
questions.
Asking questions to get to the root of where their heart is really at, because you can only make a child comply for so many years, and they're going to hit a certain age.
They'll do what they want,
where they're going to do what is in their heart. And I wish in the early years before that point, I could have really focused on addressing what's in the heart instead of just, again, focusing on the outward.
Yeah, that's good. That's really
How about
good.
you? Let me read the question again for our audience. What is something you did early in our marriage that you would never do now?
Yeah, okay, I only had one answer because I didn't know.
You were so amazing. I know.
No, because I didn't know. Like we should have multiple answers. So
see, I told you we didn't talk about these answers, and we haven't seen each other's answers. So here you go.
Okay, but I felt like this was a big one in our marriage. Is like not hold on to a hurt, because I used to do that. I guess it could be a grudge, hold on to a hurt, and not communicate ASAP, as soon as possible. I think that was a big mistake I made early on in our marriage. Well, I didn't know how to communicate really, just because of how I grew up. But I learned how to, thanks to you. You taught me how to be a better communicator. But also, just not hold on to a hurt, because it just hurts your spouse. It hurts the other person. And the longer you hold on to it, the longer it festers. And you're hurting yourself. Not only are you hurting your spouse, it's eating up your heart. So why hold on to it? Communicate right away.
Yeah. Not to go way into this because just for sake of time, but what do you mean the way you grew up?
It's so funny. I feel like you're like my psychologist or something. How I grew up is I'm glad you asked that, because I've talked about it on other episodes. But so I grew up as a latchkey child. Both parents divorced. When I say latchkey, some people don't even know what that is. But basically, I was on my own because my mom worked. She was a single mom, raised by a single mom. It was my brother and I. And so basically I raised myself is what it felt like. And I know in one of the episodes, I was like if anyone has heard of Pippi Longstocking or Punky Brewster, I would dress like Punky. And, I could relate to the Pippi Longstocking movie, because I'm like, oh my goodness, that's how I grew up. I'd have the animals come in the house, and it didn't matter. Like mom wouldn't know because mom was working, right?
So you didn't really have parenting in that sense.
Exactly.
You had a
to
dad
teach me how
that
to
was
communicate and
absent for the most part in your life during those years, and you had a mom that was working to provide for you, didn't know the Lord, didn't walk with the Lord, still isn't. And then when she was off work, it sounded like I know she's a big horse lady, so she would spend a lot of time with her horses. So you were just kind of left to fend for yourself.
Yeah, pretty much. I mean, she was a great mom when she was in the house and would make us dinner and feed us. But other than that,
she's an amazing lady.
So no one taught me how to, communicate and say sorry and, all that. I mean, I learned that in God's word, forgiveness. So that was easy and came quick once I got saved. But in the beginning of the marriage, I just feel like the communication is so important and not to hold grudges and hold on to it.
Yeah. So good, huh?
Because it does major damage to a marriage.
I love that. That's good. That's good. What's the next one? We're
rolling. Okay. So what's one thing I do today that makes you feel loved that I didn't do very well when we were younger?
Oh, this was mentioned earlier, but you build me up with words of affirmation. And, we've talked about this. We've learned a lot. We both, by God's grace, improved as spouses. And not that you never did in the early years, but certainly not enough for me, not like you do now. Like you've grown so much in that area, and you've done such a wonderful job really making me feel like I'm a better husband than I am, like just telling me how great I am. Aww. And that means the world to me. So that's one thing I wrote down a lot. I don't know if this means that you were horrible before or you're amazing now, but I know neither. I mean, I know you weren't horrible before. You were a great wife, but you've just grown so much. But you make me laugh a lot.
I do.
So you make me laugh a lot, and
I'm always telling him jokes.
And I don't know if you made me laugh in the early years or if I just was unlaughable. I don't know, but you're really good at making me laugh now.
I did. Yeah, I did make you laugh, but
you did.
Yeah, I'm like a comedian now. It's funny.
You make me laugh even more. I feel like so that's something that you've grown in, and then I felt like anyway, and then
it's a good one.
And then I wrote this down too. Is okay. This here now I'm going to bring up sex. Is I feel like you are more, how do I say this? Like I'm more desired by you now than I was before. And the thing about it is I'm older and I'm not, as attractive and all these things, but I feel like more desire.
I don't,
like
by the way,
you
I
desire
don't,
me more.
Yeah. By the way, I don't see you older. In my mind, I see you like, I don't know, younger.
With rose-colored glasses. Oh, that's great. I love it. But no, I feel like you desire me more. I feel like you just give in that way so much better. Not that you were bad before, you weren't, but you're amazing now. So that's something that I'm super grateful for. And The other couple things was you've become a great playmate. And I don't know. I mean, I know we had 6 young children. I mean, at one point in time that you were raising. And so that makes it really challenging to be an amazing playmate for your husband, I'm sure, but I see people doing it. I see people that are able to pull that off. And so I know it's possible on some level. And, I don't know, maybe you were trying back then, or maybe you weren't. I don't really know. I just know that now you're an amazing playmate. Like, I mean, no, I don't just mean in bed. I mean, I mean, a playmate everywhere. Like, I'm that too. To go surfing, to go shooting, to go
whatever you want to do,
axe throwing, to, I don't know, whatever we just, whatever we do, we working out together every day or 6 days a week, all those kinds of things. So I feel like that's a big one. And then the last one I wrote down is that you care about your health and your fitness, which, as you know, I value highly. And that's something that makes me feel loved, that you would care about your health and fitness. One, because it affects your energy. It affects all of ours, right? Our health and fitness affects our energy. It affects our libido. It affects our attractiveness to our spouse. It affects our ability to serve others. It affects our longevity. It affects our businesses. It affects everything. And so the fact that you've prioritized that, now in your mid 50s, I mean, you have been for years now, I'm just saying, but even now in your mid 50s, to me, that makes me feel loved, because it's important to me too. Yeah. So there's a short list of 5 things that I wrote down. So, how about you? So what's one or more things I do today that make you feel loved that I didn't do very well when we were younger?
Okay. Number 1, spending quality time with me. You do. Like, you slow down, you smell the roses now, and you spend quality time with me, whether that's like sipping tea outside in our backyard while we are, just looking at the lake and animals on the lake. I love that. And we just have awesome conversations.
I do too. Peppermint tea with 2 tablespoons of honey and a splash of lemon juice. Oh,
I do it all but the lemon juice, and it's so good.
So good. So just a little lemon juice, not a lot.
So that, and doing like love notes, getting me flowers,
love me
just
some
because,
notes.
Not because it's a holiday like Valentine's Day or Mother's Day, just because you'll surprise me with different things. Sometimes if I've had a hard day, you'll just get up and help me with the dishes. If I'm cleaning up the kitchen, I'm just like, wow, just helping to serve. Really listening to me, like if there's a need, like, I don't know, like maybe I'm worn out or something. I'm like, honey, I cannot cook tonight. And you're like, all right, let's go out to dinner. Like, that's always nice. It doesn't happen all the time, because usually I have tons of energy, but it's just if I've been doing a lot.
Yeah, I understand.
I love that. And just making me feel super important. Like I'm number 1, like protecting
you are
what we have, our marriage, and making me feel so loved, so valued. Yes, that's one thing I was going to say. Touching me, I love that. I think you've always been a good little toucher, but you're even more so now. Like if I'm like, oh, my back hurts, I don't even have to say anything, and you'll massage it. I can go on and on. You're just, quality time you've really worked on, and I've seen you work on that with the children too. You've done an excellent job. But
Thank you.
You're just an incredible husband. So wow. I could keep going.
This podcast has been fun.
I don't want to go too long. Yeah.
Oh gosh.
We're getting all mushy.
So what's the next question? This is great.
So the next question is, what's the hardest season we've walked through together, and what did it teach us?
Wow. As many of you may know, and Nicole mentioned it a minute ago, I wrote a book called Life's Hard, Succeed Anyway. And in that book, it came out in 2023. I listed many, not all, but many of the more significant hard that we've been through.
So how do we pick one? I had a hard time, but then I did pick one. I know. Because it's like, okay, what was hard for me?
I've written down 3. And not in any particular order, but one was having a child with cancer.
Yep.
I remember having a young daughter with cancer and thinking, was she even gonna we're going to lose her, you know, and just the whole process of, anyway,
really having to trust God.
Super painful to see her have to go through all that.
She was so young too.
Yeah. The second one was losing a job and not having the only income we had, mine at the time, right, was and losing the job unexpectedly with 3 at least or more young children at the time in our 30s, and having to even get on public assistance to feed our family for a few months, I think it was. I mean, that was just as a man, that was just a super hard season for me, because I really was comfortable with that whole process and that whole scenario there. That definitely would not be the top one though. The other one was just the season of life when I was lacking passion and purpose in my career. I was traveling 2 states away from you and the kids. I was working for nothing more than money. It was just a slog of it was really difficult. And I went through a bunch of hard things, from losing my brother, losing my sister, parents divorcing, all these different things that happened in that couple year period, and I turned to alcohol and abusing alcohol, drinking too much at different points in time, and led to the DUI and me not even coming home on the night I was supposed to come home, and you wondering where I was because I was in jail. Like that whole I'll just say that whole season right there that God used and for good, and turned it, my bad choices and really, hard season, God turned into a beautiful thing as far as helping me pivot in career to what we do now, and the business we started 11 years ago and all that. But man, that was a super hard season. So those 3, I mean, there's many other hard things obviously we've been through, but I'd say those 3 were the first that came to mind. How about you?
So when I wrote it down, I put our daughter with cancer, and then we had a daughter with seizures. So I don't know if that was hard for you, but that was hard for
that was
me.
very hard.
And then I started listing, and then a daughter that is still a drug addict. Living on the streets. I would say that's been difficult.
I can't believe I didn't put that one down.
Yeah. But in that one, I learned to trust God and give it to God. So it's not as hard. I mean, it's still hard, but it's not as hard as it used to be. Like in the beginning, it was super hard. And not knowing, if she would take her last breath, because I would get calls in the middle of the night, and that she, was in the hospital and
had overdosed.
Had overdosed basically. And so, and getting calls from guys just saying, I almost, ran over your daughter. She's staggering in the road. And it's like, oh my goodness. So I would say that.
And wanting to help and offering rehab, and her not wanting it, not wanting to get off the streets.
We did pay for
that's super
2
difficult.
rehabs. So she's been to 2 rehabs.
But you know what else has been difficult about that? Having other dads call me in the past, it's going back a few years, and telling me, you got to bring her home. She's going to get killed. And just like telling me what I should be doing, when I've been trying, obviously, as the father, like trying to do these things. And I'm like, what am I supposed to do? Kidnap her as a 20? I mean, she's almost 32 now, but as at the time, 25-year-old, kidnap her, bring her home, and chain her to the bed in the bedroom. Like, how do I?
We've done everything. The encouragement, like over the phone, and we've taken her in to our house numerous times. Bought her, new wardrobe because she didn't have any clothing, and So I would say, that's been hard. But then I scratched all that out. I'm like, okay, that's been hard. But I think the hardest thing for me was your DUI. Yeah. That was the hardest thing because, I didn't know, if that was going to change, the whole drinking thing. I'm like, oh my goodness, if this doesn't change, then what's going to happen?
Yeah, it'll be catastrophic.
Yeah. So I would say that was the hardest. And then, you were gone in rehab for a month, and then I was running the business, and that was really hard for me. It was good for me. It grew me really fast, and I probably needed it. But that was really hard.
Yeah.
So,
wow. So yeah, that's what I figured you would say. So that doesn't surprise me. I'm so sorry for all the pain I caused you.
Oh, I forgive you. It's all about, what you learn from it and what it, taught us. And we definitely learned a lot through all of that.
Sure. And Nicole has been from the beginning of all that, was so forgiving, so gracious towards me. And what a great example.
I must say, all I cared about is that you were alive, because when I did not get that call that night, honestly, all these thoughts are going through my mind. I thought you got in a car accident and you died. I'm like, he's dead. The sheriff is going to show up at my doorstep. So when I knew you were alive, I'm like, oh, this is easy. This is easy to forgive him. Of course you're forgiven. You're alive. And I'm just so grateful that you're okay. So
it's hard for me to even talk about that and remember that and know the pain I caused you and others. And God, and
you're forgiven.
I know I am forgiven and I'm not living in that, but just bringing back the memories of it, just to talk about it.
Makes you feel gross. Yeah.
And it's embarrassing and I feel dirty and all these different
God's
feelings.
Grace covers it,
and I understand that too. I'm just saying the emotions of how I feel talking about it, but I'm willing to, because I want to help people. As you know, we both do. We want to help people. We don't want other people going through. I mean, if we can let people learn from our mistakes, definitely we want to do that. Were you done with that question?
Yes.
We've just got a couple left here.
Yes. Okay.
Let's pause for just a quick moment. And I want to just remind all of you who are listening or viewing on YouTube that if you're finding value here, I just want to invite you to hit that subscribe button, maybe the notification bell, so you can hear about these episodes, be the first to hear when they drop each week, each Thursday morning at 6 a.m. Central Time, by the way. And if you're listening on Apple or Spotify or any of the countless other podcast platforms, if you would, and this has been an encouragement to you, can you help us get these messages out to more marriages, more couples, more singles that want to be ahead of the game before they get married, whatever the case may be, by just hitting that review and rating button or link there on your podcast platform. Give us a 5-star review if you think it's worthy of it. Give us whatever you want, I guess. And then on Apple and maybe a couple others, you may even be able to write a sentence or two review. That would be so appreciated. I just want to ask if you could do that. We would greatly appreciate it. We understand that helps get these out to more messages, the more ratings and reviews these get. So thank you in advance.
Yes.
All right. What's our last few questions?
Okay. What's an argument we've had more than 100 times?
You know what I wrote down?
I think we wrote the same thing down.
Did you?
Yeah. But the funny thing is, it's not an argument. I don't feel like maybe we
food being wasted.
Yeah. That's what.
Yes. Food being wasted. I wrote down
refrigerators, one's inside, and then we have a commercial refrigerator out in our garage and also a freezer. So, go ahead.
Well, this is back in we have 6 children days and, and as the kids, started growing up and going away, which happened 12 years ago, starting 12 years ago, less food and less food and less food was being consumed than what once was consumed by 8 of us.
Yes, and I used to make big meals.
Yeah, and so I'm like, Nicole, why are we buying so much produce every time? We can't even eat that much produce. And before it goes bad in our refrigerator, it's not going to stay good that long.
The thing that happens is, we eat very healthy, lots of fruits, lots of vegetables. Food tends to go bad a lot quicker in the summertime. And no excuse, but food does go bad, unfortunately, because I think in my mind too, we entertain a lot.
When it's been sitting in the fridge for 3 or 4 weeks, it does go bad.
We leave to these business events and whatnot, and then we're not eating it. And so it goes bad. So I am guilty. And I put that down as well. So
yeah, I mean, I think, So that's the one that I don't know if it's been 100 times, but it's definitely a thing in our marriage that keeps recurring.
And I would say the only one now, it used to be in the beginning of our marriage, finances, but now I would say food. So.
And finances, the reason why finances is not such a big thing anymore is 2 things. One, you've gotten a lot better I feel like you've gotten a lot more financially responsible than when we married, almost 34 years ago. Well, and you didn't know how to manage money. Yeah. I paid off your Visa bill for you. Yeah. And some of these things at 19 and it wasn't because I was a
big spender. I was trying to pay off speeding tickets.
You were a big speeder
from the California Highway Patrol, and then
she wasn't a big spender. She was a big speeder.
Yeah, what's so funny is I ended up marrying
your 1972 orange bug.
Yes.
Sorry,
I was a speeder.
You ended up what? Marrying what?
Marrying at one.
Oh, a CHP officer?
Yeah, that's the funny part. You.
Eventually, yes. So 5 or 6 years after we were married, I became a California Highway Patrol officer. That's funny, huh?
Yeah.
So, okay. So, and what have we finally learned about each other because of this argument that we've had more than 100 times, apparently? What would you say?
You're asking me?
Yes, I'm asking you first.
I'm trying to get better, buy less. And was that the question?
What have we learned? What have we learned from this recurring argument, if you will, want to call it that?
To buy less and not have the mindset that I have a whole bunch of kids in the house, because I don't.
Well, I never finished the thing about money. The reason why money hasn't been so much of an issue, and we'll come back to this, is I said one of two things. One, because you've gotten a lot better with.
Yes.
We got off on CHP and your lead foot and tickets. And the second thing, the second reason is because we have more of it. I mean, we got married with, I don't even think we had $500 in the bank.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't even know if we had $100 in the bank. We didn't make a lot.
Minimum wage.
And yeah, you were making minimum wage $4.25 an hour, and I was making $7 an hour when we got married. So what's that? $11.25 an hour, which is almost 2x now. So 11 times 2 is $22. That's like a household income of $20 an hour today. So imagine a husband and wife getting married today on $20 an hour combined. That's what we were dealing with. So we're not dealing with that anymore.
No,
right?
We're not. And I don't speed anymore. My
no, you don't.
Record is clean, right? When's the last time I've been pulled over?
Pulled over or got a ticket?
Got a ticket.
Okay. The last ticket you got would have been in 1994.
Thank you. So my record is clean.
Yes.
And yeah,
you're a great driver. Wow, she is a great driver. Very safe, very good. Yes, I'm very proud of you.
Very cautious.
So yeah, back to this. What have you learned to buy less? You said, is that what you said?
Yeah, just to buy less and not have the mindset that I'm feeding a whole tribe, because I'm not anymore.
Right.
I'm not.
And that we live 2.5 miles away from a Kroger grocery store that we can just go get some more vegetables.
And we live
if we need
a different, busier lifestyle where we are traveling more. And so.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
Okay. So you want to know what finally learned because of it? I wrote down that you must have PTSD about running out of produce in the past. I don't know. As a child, did you run out of produce?
It's like I lived in the Great Depression or something. Well, no, they're tighter, right? Our grandparents were tighter.
Yeah, I don't think they would be wasting produce.
They wouldn't waste, but I don't. It is like I just think, oh my god, I got to make sure everyone's fed. We're gonna have people over. I just think we're gonna have, because we're always having people over. Hospitality is huge in our home.
Yeah, you're amazing at that for sure.
Yeah, but I need to get better. I admit it. Okay, question.
You have gotten better.
Thank you.
Yeah, for sure. Okay, she's gotten better.
Okay, so let's see. Last question.
No, I think we've got 2 more.
Oh, 2 more. Okay.
1. Yeah, 2 more. What's one thing that's changing? Yeah, I think we've got 2.5 more.
Yeah. And one thing I want to say is, like, this episode is not about us as we're asking these questions. Think about asking these questions with your spouse.
Yeah.
So, let's ask. Okay. So what's one thing you've changed your mind about, or a misconception you've had about marriage over the last 33 years?
I think this one goes back to an earlier, maybe our first question, where my first answer to that first question was, what I would tell my younger self basically is the marriage is not 50-50, give 100%, Allan, no matter, expecting nothing in return. It kind of ties in with that. what I've changed my mind, or kind of a misconception I had about marriage, and that I've changed my mind on, is that you were going to make me happy. Like, and you do make me happy, but that it's not your responsibility to make me happy, to fulfill me, to make me whole. That's the Lord's responsibility. And
that's good.
And you're a huge part of that, like a massive piece of that puzzle in my life. But you are not, it's not your responsibility to make me happy. And if we are looking to our, happy, you right? Make me very, well, I said you make me very happy. You please me beyond belief. It's not my job. Beyond my wildest imaginations when we got married, quite honestly. I can't even believe what I have now, but, and that's the goodness of God. But I was looking for you to make me happy. And in the beginning, I've learned that my happiness is found in Christ, and God uses you as a huge gift and blessing in my life, which is amazing. But if that alone is what we're looking to complete us or whatever, a spouse who's imperfect and is going to let us down, we're in for a rude awakening in marriage. And, that's what I learned.
Yeah. So mine is pretty similar. And as in, like, I thought when we got married, I thought it would be perfect. I didn't think there would be, because I'm like, okay, we're both believers, Christians. Well, at least I thought you were.
Thought I was, yeah.
But you weren't saved. And so in my mind, I thought everything was going to be perfect because we're believers. It's a Christian household. Everything's going to be perfect and bliss. And but it wasn't that way, right? And so, and I totally agree with what you said too. But also, I thought, okay, it's like, how could you meet my needs when it's really about servanthood that we talked about earlier? Right. It's like serving, really what it comes down to is you're serving the other person. You're loving the other person more than yourself. Yeah. Seeing how you could lay down your life. It's just like, I think about Jesus and the disciples and how he, washed the disciples' feet. And they're like, Lord, if anything, we should be washing your feet. And that's like the heart attitude that we need to have in a marriage. It's like, how can I, lay down my life? How can I serve you? How can I wash your feet? And like each day when I wake up, that's how I think. It's like, how can I serve my husband, or better serve my husband, and love him and just blow his mind so he feels so loved. It's like a piece of God, in me. And I'm just loving him and serving him. And so that's kind of like my motto, serve.
Well, you do a great job. Yeah, you do a great job.
So I think that's,
Yeah, I appreciate everything you do to serve me. It's incredible. And our family, I feel so loved too by the way you serve our children and others that come into our home.
Oh, thank you.
All the ways. You're amazing.
Thank you. Okay, so now we're going to do marriage hot takes. And this is just going to be like quick questions. So each person has to just answer immediately. You have no time to think, maybe a split second. Okay. You ready?
I'm ready.
Do you want me to ask all the questions and then you ask me, or I just, okay.
I don't know.
Or do we ask it together? Okay. I ask it, and then how about we both answer right away?
I'll answer and then you answer?
You ready?
Okay. Here we go.
Separate vacations? No.
No. Oh, wait. I didn't even understand the question.
Separate vacations?
I was thinking vacations. Yes. Okay. Separate vacations. Like separate? Like us separate?
Yeah.
No.
Because some girls go with the girls and some with the guys. No. What would you prefer?
No.
Okay. No. Going to bed angry?
No.
Joint bank accounts? Yes.
Yes.
You scared me. Okay. Should your spouse be your best friend?
Yes.
Is date night overrated or underrated?
Underrated. Underrated.
Yes. Is saying I'm sorry harder for men or women? I say either.
I don't know.
Well, men or women, I don't know. I say women are stubborn, but maybe they aren't. Maybe men are.
I was going to say maybe it's harder for men, but I don't really know.
It could be men. Yeah.
I know it's not hard for me.
I think either. It just depends on the person if they're stubborn.
It's really, I don't know. I think you're right. I don't know that it matters, men or women.
He has an easier time saying sorry. It's probably how you grew up.
I don't know. I think I definitely am quick to say I'm sorry and mean it, but I think it's because maybe it's how I grew up. Maybe it's just because I've had so much practice.
You're funny.
I have had so much practice saying I'm sorry and humbling myself and apologizing for my mistakes. Like, seriously. I mean, maybe that's what it is. I don't know.
Okay. So before we go on to our last question that I'm going to ask, is there any way that we can get these questions to our listeners?
Yes.
Maybe under the...
We can put them in the show notes.
In the show notes?
Yeah.
Below. Can we do that?
Sure.
Okay.
Okay. We'll put them in the show notes.
All right. So last question. If our grandchildren listen to this someday, what's the one piece of marriage advice we hope they remember?
So grandchildren?
Yes, grandchildren.
So my mind immediately went to grandson. Like, I would want to speak. I mean, I'd want to speak to my granddaughters too. So I don't know what I would have to think about what I want to say to my granddaughters, but what I would say to my sons, hopefully if I have more than one, sons.
We have one, by the way.
Yes, we do.
We have a grandson.
Yes. What I would say to my grandsons is pursue the Lord with all your heart. Like, I know it may sound like, yeah, grandpa. No, pursue the Lord with all your heart. Nothing else will make you happy. Nothing else will bring you peace. Nothing else will give you the life that you want. You think you envision the life that you want. God already has a life envisioned for you. He's already got a plan for your life, and it will be better than anything your mind can even imagine. Anything. So it's worth trusting him and pursuing him and following his will for your life. That's number one. And number two is, and that relates to marriage. I mean, that's marriage advice. That's life advice, but it's marriage advice. Like, that is going to bless your marriage. Because if you're married and that's part of God's plan, which it is for most people, the majority of people, then it's going to be an amazing marriage. Okay. You're going to pick the woman, or man for you women, but you're going to pick, if I'm speaking to my grandsons, you're going to pick the man, or you're going to pick the woman that God has for you. You're going to be the man to her that God wants you to be, and your marriage is going to be blessed. Your children is going to be blessed, and everyone's going to be blessed that comes into contact with you. The second and final thing I would say to him is the ABCs. I would say always be courting or dating, whatever you want to call it, but ABC sounds better, right? Always be courting, and like, pursue her the way you pursue her to get her to say yes to marriage.
Good job at that.
Pursue her. Thank you. Pursue her like that till the day you both, till the day she or you are passed away. That's what I would say. And I would say it's worth it. Don't get lazy on that just because you got her.
That's really good.
How about you? What would you tell your grandchildren?
Well, put God first and foremost. Everyone says that, and constantly read his word, memorize, have fun in marriage, have fun, flirt, love and serve your spouse well. Pray together. Make sure you have quality friendships, godly friendships that help build and encourage your marriage, not tear it down. Make sure you forgive quickly, because you know what? We are all human. We're not God. We're not perfect. He's the only perfect one. And we're going to make mistakes. So make sure you forgive quickly. Never go to bed angry. Communicate when you are hurt. So don't sweep it under the rug. Don't hold on to that hurt. Communicate right away. Encourage your spouse's weakness. Allan's done such a great job at this with me. Their weak areas, so that they can get stronger in those areas that they are weak in. So help them, because you are ultimately their helpmeet. So be their helpmeet.
You've done that very well for me too. So thank you.
Thank you. And then play together. Make sure you play together and have fun. I did say fun already, but play together. It's your playmate, so it's your BFF.
Wow, that is a great list of advice to give to your grandchildren, our grandchildren, and it's a great list of advice to give to our listeners. That was good. So maybe hit the rewind on that last 60 seconds or whatever that was and hear that list again and take some notes, because that was worth taking some notes and, more importantly, implementing. And you've done a great job of all those things.
Well, yours was good too. So encouraging. So if this podcast has been helpful and encouraging to you all, will you please share it with someone else that desires to improve their marriage?
Yes. And as always, we would love to hear from you. Those of you that reach out, we just want to say thank you in advance. Those of you that have reached out, thank you for doing that. All of our contact information is in the show notes below this episode, whether you're watching on YouTube, Spotify, Apple, wherever, any other place, Amazon Music, any of these places, iHeart. We'd love to hear from you. So
yes,
please reach out.
Yeah, please leave a 5-star review and for us on your favorite podcast app, or possibly share it on your social media. That would really mean so much to us. And our social media links are in the show notes below.
Yeah, let's close in prayer, shall we?
Let's do it.
Lord, I just thank you for this day. Thank you for the ability to live another day and have breath in our lungs, to live for you, serve you, to grow in our marriages, to be, shining lights for you, to be examples of your love for us by the way we love our spouse. And we know people are watching, Lord. Our children are watching. Other people are watching. People we don't even know that are watching our marriages. And I pray that you just keep building up and equipping all of our marriages to better honor and glorify you. Thank you for our listeners. Please bless their lives and continue to bless this podcast to get to those that it will encourage. And please give us the topics, the ideas, and the words that you want us to share. In Jesus' name, amen.
Amen. And thank you so much for being part of the Impact Marriage podcast.
That's right. We'll look forward to seeing you next Thursday at 6 a.m. Central Time.
And we will have the questions for this podcast
in the show notes.
Yeah, in the show notes.
All right.
So
bye-bye.
Bye.